In a jaw-dropping twist that has royal watchers worldwide doing double takes, Queen Camilla has reportedly flown into an absolute royal rage. And the trigger was none other than young Princess Charlotte daring to wear one of the most iconic symbols of the late Princess Diana, her dazzling, unforgettable tiara. But what actually made Camilla lose her temper like that? Was it pure jealousy? Did she fear Diana's legacy living on through Charlotte? Or was this bitter anger something she has bottled up for years? Today we are going to expose the real story behind Queen Camilla's shocking reaction. Let us look at Princess Diana's headpiece. This sparkling tiara belonged to a woman the whole world still remembers with deep love. Diana was not just another face in the royal family. No, she was someone truly exceptional. People everywhere called her the People's Princess because she was so incredibly warm-kind and genuinely down to earth. No matter where she went, she made everyone feel special. Her brilliant smile, her open heart, and her natural elegance mixed with humility made her completely unforgettable to millions. Out of all her royal treasures, this special tiara was her absolute favourite. It sparkled with diamonds, looking like something straight from a classic fairy tale. Diana wore it to grand state dinners, major royal events, and most famously on the day she married Prince Charles in front of the entire world. Whenever she wore it, onlookers were absolutely mesmerised. But it was not just the bright diamonds catching everyone's eye. It was Diana herself. She possessed a rare sort of magic that made those diamonds shine even brighter. Following Diana's tragic and sudden death, many of her most personal, beautiful belongings were carefully locked away. These items were not just stored in vaults. They were fiercely protected as symbols of her spirit. Over time, some of these precious heirlooms were passed down to Prince William and Prince Harry to keep her memory alive. And now, as the years go by, these beautiful treasures are finally reaching a brand new generation. So, when young Princess Charlotte was recently seen wearing her grandmother's famous tiara, it was not just harmless dress-up. It was actually a deeply meaningful gesture. It honoured Diana, kept her legacy thriving, and proved she still holds a massive place in the family's heart despite being gone for so long. Seeing young Charlotte wearing that iconic piece was incredibly touching. It stirred up old feelings and brought back vivid memories, creating a highly emotional moment for royal fans. However, not everyone behind palace walls shared that joy. For certain royals, this gesture reopened very old, painful wounds. And for one prominent royal in particular, holding back their true reaction proved absolutely impossible. Queen Camilla and Princess Diana were never friends. Instead, their shared history is full of bitter pain and public drama watched by millions. Decades ago, while Prince Charles was still officially married to Princess Diana, the public heavily blamed Camilla for destroying their marriage. She was branded the other woman in a scandalous royal love triangle. And even though decades have gone by, that negative image of Camilla has never fully faded. Sure, today she is Queen Camilla, attending major events, standing right beside King Charles and wearing the crown. She has also stepped up her duties, recently taking the lead while King Charles battles his ongoing health issues. Yet no matter how hard she works or how royal she appears, one harsh truth still lingers deep down. Camilla knows she can never truly replace Diana in the public's heart because Diana is still remembered as an absolute legend. The world still praises her warmth, her timeless beauty, and her grace. Her classic portraits are still deeply cherished, and her legacy remains incredibly powerful today. No matter what Queen Camilla achieves, Diana's star still shines bright, leaving Camilla to feel like she is living in a permanent shadow. So when Camilla recently walked in and saw young Princess Charlotte wearing that dazzling diamond tiara that once belonged to Diana, most people just saw a pretty piece of jewellery. But to Camilla, that glittering headpiece meant something far more intense. It was a glaring reminder that Diana's legacy is thriving in the next generation. Camilla might have tried to fake a smile, but inside she was absolutely furious. Bitter feelings she had buried deep for decades came rushing back, making her feel completely invisible. Perhaps she realised that despite her royal title, she would always play second fiddle to Diana. At that exact moment, she simply snapped. She lost her temper as years of buried pain, jealousy, and resentment finally boiled over in public. That outburst proved just how much pressure she is under and how heavily Diana's ghost still hangs over every single part of royal life today. But what really drove Camilla to react so strongly to Princess Charlotte? Let us dig deeper. Princess Charlotte is still very young, yet she already carries a level of royal importance that other kids her age could never even dream of. At such a young age, she has captured the hearts of millions worldwide, and it is easy to see why. Between her bright smile, her natural confidence, and how she carries herself like a true queen in waiting, there is something magical about Charlotte. She constantly reminds people of her legendary grandmother, Princess Diana. And recently, when she wore Diana's iconic heirloom, that powerful family connection grew even stronger. It isn't just about how stunning Charlotte looks wearing that gorgeous royal tiara. It is about the incredible energy she radiates whenever she walks into a room. There is a sweet, natural charm to her that puts everyone at ease, almost as if she was raised on Princess Diana's own values. This is not just about looks. It is about how Charlotte engages with the public. Diana was famous for her genuine warmth and her rare gift for connecting with ordinary people. And the young princess seems to have inherited that exact same gentle spirit. Whenever she smiles, she instantly lights up the entire room. And when she speaks, there is a quiet, steady confidence that pulls people close. Meanwhile, the Queen has been feeling quite ill for days. She was scheduled to host a major gathering at Buckingham Palace earlier this week to honour the Paris 2024 Olympic medalists, but she had to cancel. Now she will also miss the upcoming highly important remembrance ceremonies. When Charlotte wore Diana's legendary tiara, it was not just a child playing dress-up. It was a deeply symbolic, historical moment. It really felt as if the late princess's spirit had come alive once again, offering the public a fresh connection to her memory. It was a stunning and emotional tribute to her lasting impact. Princess Charlotte represents the very future of the British monarchy, and there she was proudly carrying forward the legacy of one of the most adored figures in modern history. But while the public celebrated this beautiful tribute, Queen Camilla reportedly felt very, very differently. For her, this was about much more than a young girl wearing a crown. It was about the bright palace spotlight shifting yet again. Diana's memory, which the public still clings to, has never really faded from the royal stage. Now, young Charlotte, representing the new generation, wore that iconic tiara, a strong symbol of Diana's lingering legacy and a hint of what lies ahead. For Camilla, it likely felt as though her hard-won position in the monarchy was being eclipsed once again by Diana's everlasting shadow. No matter how hard she tried, no matter what she achieved, the public's deep love for Diana never faded away. And now Charlotte, the sweet young princess, was standing at the very centre of that adoration. But how did palace insiders and the general public actually react to Camilla's angry outburst? Let us examine the reactions from both the palace and the public. When Queen Camilla completely lost her temper, it did not just startle the immediate staff. It sent an actual shockwave through the entire royal household. Many of the palace staff members who witnessed the scene later admitted they had absolutely never seen her behave with such intense anger before. Camilla, famous for her usually calm and highly composed public image, suddenly seemed completely unrecognizable. She raised her voice, which is highly unusual for her, and even more shockingly, demanded to know why Princess Charlotte was permitted to wear the tiara without her direct approval. Witnesses claimed it was not just her loud voice that felt so unsettling. It was the heavy, suffocating way Camilla's rage filled the air, almost as if it were a solid physical force. An insider even described how she stormed out of the room, slamming the heavy door so hard it left everyone standing in a stunned, highly uncomfortable silence. The once bright and happy atmosphere inside the room turned freezing cold in an instant, as if the physical air had suddenly shifted. Later on, Queen Camilla continued with her scheduled duties, which included a visit to the town of Swindon, There she met with staff and volunteers at Jenny's House, a local domestic abuse charity that was celebrating its 50th anniversary. What began as a perfectly ordinary morning at the palace was completely ruined by her sudden outburst, leaving a tense, awkward energy hanging in the corridors. The whole mood in that room changed instantly. Staff members who had been laughing and chatting happily just moments ago were now trading highly nervous looks, completely unsure of how they should react next. A few of the employees who watched the drama unfold were terrified to speak about it, deeply worried that their words might reach the Queen. Insiders close to Camilla hinted that she felt highly disrespected, firmly believing that as the reigning Queen she had every right to be informed before Charlotte wore the tiara. But there might be an even deeper, highly personal motive here, perhaps a sudden wave of jealousy over seeing a young girl wear an item so closely linked to Diana. No matter the reason, her sudden blow-up left an awkward chill in the palace that was incredibly hard to shake off. Before long, news of the incident leaked way beyond the palace walls, fueling intense global speculation about ongoing feuds within the royal family. Once the public heard about Queen Camilla's dramatic tantrum, observers quickly began choosing sides, and the internal drama of the monarchy, once kept strictly private, had suddenly transformed into a massive global spectacle. Suddenly everyone was talking about it, and the entire world was watching. People all over the globe had passionate opinions about the clash, and internet platforms exploded with angry debates, with many rushing to defend young Princess Charlotte. Many felt the sweet young princess had every right to honour her beloved, late grandmother, Princess Diana, by wearing the classic tiara that had once belonged to her since Diana was so deeply adored by millions. For these loyal fans, seeing young Charlotte wearing that sparkling tiara felt like a beautiful, deeply respectful way to honour her grandmother's eternal legacy. Royal watchers couldn't ignore how much Princess Charlotte looked like Diana in that tiara. Honestly, it was about so much more than just expensive jewellery. It genuinely felt as though Diana's bright spirit was shining directly through her young granddaughter. All over social media, fans flooded the comments, writing things like, "Charlotte looks exactly like Diana. It is stunning, and such a sweet tribute to remember the people's princess." Still plenty of people backed Queen Camilla. They argued that as the reigning queen, she was being treated completely unfairly. They believed that since she holds the official title of queen, she deserves the absolute final say on all pressing royal matters, including who actually gets to wear priceless pieces of royal jewellery like the Spencer tiara. Meanwhile, back in Britain, King Charles III delivered a major speech at the state opening of Parliament. The king and his inner circle pointed out that the historic tiara belongs to the royal collection, and it really should have been handled with far more respect. Regardless of which side people chose to take, one thing was absolutely clear: Princess Diana's legacy continues to have a massive, lasting impact. In every single corner of the globe, people were talking about her, proving her legacy is still very much alive. Even major newspapers and tabloids jumped right into the drama, asking pressing questions like, is the royal family still deeply divided? And is Queen Camilla still living under Diana's massive shadow? This wasn't just some standard palace gossip anymore. It had evolved into a massive global conversation where absolutely everyone had an opinion, and nobody could seem to stop talking about it. So, what was Prince William and Kate's actual reaction to this wild drama? Let's find out. Here is William and Kate's quiet response. While this intense palace drama unfolded and tensions escalated behind closed doors, Prince William and Princess Kate chose to take a completely different path. Instead of dragging themselves into the public spectacle, the couple chose to remain completely calm and quiet. They avoided issuing any official statements or getting sucked into the massive media frenzy. To the public, watching their stony silence spoke absolute volumes. But that didn't mean they were just ignoring the situation. They made a conscious, careful decision to stay above the fray, while quietly backing their daughter, Princess Charlotte. Insiders close to the couple revealed that both William and Kate fiercely supported Charlotte's right to wear Diana's iconic tiara. They felt it was crucial for their little girl to honour her grandmother's legendary legacy, especially given the uniquely deep connection Diana always shared with their family. As the beloved people's princess, Diana had captured hearts worldwide, and her memory continued to burn bright within the modern royal family. As Diana's oldest son, William, had always carried the heavy weight of her legacy, while Kate, as his supportive wife, had grown to deeply respect Diana's massive role in shaping the monarchy. Kate in particular felt a truly immense sense of pride watching her own daughter carry on that legacy. As a protective mother herself, she fully understood the profound significance of passing historic traditions and memories down to future generations. She was incredibly proud to see young Charlotte wearing Diana's tiara, knowing it was far more than just sparkly jewellery, acting instead as a symbol of Diana's strength, kindness, and eternal impact on the world. For Kate, it was a deeply powerful moment, a chance to honour a legendary woman she never met but always admired. Famous for her signature calm and graceful demeanour, Kate constantly finds elegant ways to connect with the public, and this tricky situation was absolutely no different. She wanted all her children, especially Charlotte, to truly grasp the importance of family history and the remarkable women who paved the way before them. Meanwhile, in an emotional new video released just this morning, Kate made her first official appearance since her shocking cancer diagnosis. The footage shows her arriving alongside her children at Buckingham Palace for Trooping the Colour, celebrating King Charles's big official birthday. But while Kate openly showed her proud support for Charlotte, Prince William took a much more reserved approach. As Diana's own son, he fully understood just how complex and deeply sensitive family issues get when exposed to the harsh public eye. Having survived the intense public scrutiny of his parents' messy marriage breakdown, he knew the deep pain that came with the media picking sides. Because of those memories, William chose to keep completely silent on this messy matter, hoping the tense situation would eventually blow over without triggering any more drama. Honestly, his quietness reflected a fierce desire to shield his family from unnecessary stress. He understood that sometimes the absolute best way to handle massive public controversies was to stay calm and avoid fueling the media storm. As the future king, William also recognised his duty to preserve the delicate image of the royal family, and his strict decision to stay quiet was likely a very calculated move to prevent making the situation any worse. Even though William and Kate refused to make public statements or engage in the heated debates surrounding the tiara, trusted insiders close to the household understood they stood completely united, firmly believing Charlotte had every right to wear it and honour Diana's eternal memory. For them, it was never about putting on a big show for the world to see. It was simply about honouring family and keeping Diana's spirit alive for the next generation. By keeping quiet, William and Kate successfully avoided throwing more fuel onto the fire of public opinion. They clearly understood that quiet dignity is often much more powerful than loud statements. While the rest of the royal family got swept up in endless drama, William and Kate chose the high road, keeping their focus entirely on their young children and royal duties. They knew their daily actions would speak far louder than any hasty public comments ever could. While the world endlessly gossiped about Camilla's bitter reaction and Diana's legacy, William and Kate stayed locked on what truly mattered most, their family and the crown's future. Their quiet poise showed a mature wisdom that so many onlookers highly admired. Recently, the Princess of Wales shared a deeply personal update opening up about her cancer battle and revealing she has finally finished her chemotherapy treatments. This is the future of the monarchy. At first glance, it might look like a minor detail in the grand scheme. Just Princess Charlotte wearing a beautiful tiara. After all, sparkling headpieces are standard in their life, and she represents the very future of the royal family. Yet within the intense spotlight of the British monarchy, every single gesture is watched closely by millions of people. Every single gesture and choice is loaded with deep meaning. And this specific moment with young Charlotte's tiara is absolutely no exception. For these historic royal families, ancient tradition holds massive importance. What looks like a simple act to the public often carries a far deeper hidden significance. When young Princess Charlotte wore the tiara that once belonged to her late grandmother, Princess Diana, it was about much more than just royal fashion. It turned into a moment overflowing with heavy symbolism and emotion. For many, it felt as though a piece of Diana's historic legacy was being directly passed to the younger generation, which was incredibly moving. Princess Diana, who captured the hearts of millions with her pure kindness and grace, will never be forgotten by history. Now her young granddaughter Charlotte was wearing a living piece of that incredible history and legacy. But for Queen Camilla, this sweet moment was far from simple. Her reaction, clearly filled with anger and deep frustration, proved that the painful wounds of the past still linger even after all these years. It is clear that Camilla still harbours unresolved feelings surrounding Diana's lasting memory. Given the incredibly complicated history between them, this is quite understandable. Yet it is also obvious these bitter emotions are not just old relics of the past. They remain very much alive in the present day. Camilla's harsh reaction to Charlotte wearing the heirloom is a stark reminder that Diana's giant shadow still looms large over the royal family. No matter what she does, Camilla simply cannot escape it. As the younger royals, like Princess Charlotte, continue to grow up, more and more of Diana's iconic memory will inevitably live on directly through them. Charlotte, with her bright smile and effortless charm alongside the other young royals, is widely seen as the true future of the British monarchy. They represent a fresh, exciting chapter for the royal family, one that honours the deep values and legacy of the past, while looking forward to what is ahead. What are your actual thoughts on Queen Camilla's shocking outburst over Princess Charlotte wearing Princess Diana's famous tiara? Share your thoughts with us down in the comments section. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe